there's always a little bit of a delay before we go live. I think we're probably live now. Hey, what's up? How you doing? It's good to be back. Analog Attack here, episode 20.
Hello.
Episode 20 of what
20. We didn't get a cake.
Actually, Nate's looking good. Good to see everyone again. Jim, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Well, my friend. Brian, welcome home.
Hello. And hello, two of my older friends in the scene in the States there.
There you go. Nate, good to see you again, my friend. How you doing?
Thank you, buddy. Thanks for having me again.
Always a pleasure. We've had a couple of weeks off. It's good to be back. Let me just do the thingy that I have to do, and then we'll get going. This is what, if you're watching.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we've upgraded since you were on last. There you go.
Punch that like button and subscribe.
I don't want to say it, so I just like
smash that. Smash that.
Yeah, I don't want to say it. Okay, that's
that. I don't blame you. It's a little embarrassing.
Yeah, let the thingy do it. All right, the chat's open. If you've got any comments or anything to say, more than welcome. We've got 5 records each that we picked out. Looking forward to everyone's choices. We'll do it the usual way. I'll go first. Me, Jim, Brian, and then Nate will go around 5 times. We'll have a good time. Cheers.
Kampai.
Cheers, guys.
Kampai.
I can't see
Kampai.
Kampai. Cheers. What's everyone drinking this fine evening?
Dragons.
Angry Orchard green apple cider.
Foster's
Shit.
Angry Orchard.
American Foster's.
Yeah, I'm drinking my sponsorship beer, Sapporo, as usual. All right, let's get going.
My fallback is mellow corn whiskey.
Let's hope. Wow. Hey.
You can pick it out.
Wow. Okay, Scoots is here. How you doing, friend? Good to see you.
Hey, Scoots.
What's up?
Hey, Scoots.
Oh, by the way, got to say thank you again to Scoots. I'm wearing the t-shirt. What do you reckon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Such a cool logo.
Very
man.
fashionable.
That's cool.
Yeah, chuffed to get this surprise present from Scoots
stop.
a couple of weeks ago. I might print some up. We'll look into it. If anyone's interested, let us know in the comments below if you're interested in an Analog Attack t-shirt.
I'm interested.
Okay. Make a note of that, Jim.
Yeah, write that down, Jim.
Write that down. Okay, so as always, I'm going to start
Kick it
off
off,
my.
Mike.
What's that? Kick it off. All right, I'm ready to go. So I'm going to do my short, sharp shock, which I always do at the start of the show, except my short shock today is a double LP with a bonus CD. So not that short, but it's a ripper. I've just been in Sapporo, so what better than some Sapporo City Hardcore from Shotgun. Wow. 1994 to 2003. There we go. Was that one of your picks for today?
No, it wasn't.
All right. Okay.
No.
Yeah, so this is another one of those FOAD things. It's the band's whole discography. You know, as it says here, stick to the old-fashioned style, which they do. No DB, no grind, no crust, just straight ahead, old school Japanese hardcore. It's got the whole discography on it, demo tapes, the EPs, the compilation tracks. I guess you'd call this band like a B grade or C grade kind of a band. But this is great stuff. And they kind of get better as they go through. Like, I think the best stuff's like on the end of side B and side D. For me, they kind of get a little bit more polished. But female vocalist, good stuff. You know, as I said, like B grade band. But look at this. They even say it themselves. We can't distinguish between top and lowest. So you know, they said it themselves. You know, but yeah. Good record. It got me thinking Lip Cream. Because by the time they kind of hit their stride, they've really got this like Lip Cream kind of thing going on, I think. And Lip Cream, maybe the most influential Japanese hardcore band of all time, I want to say.
Wow.
One of them.
one of them for sure. You know,
In Japan.
There's a
in
couple.
Japan, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, great record. Yeah, it's funny. Like all the songs are like almost like one-word titles. You know, so introspection, ruin, maniac, beer. You know, which kind of sounds like me after an episode of this show. But I mean, I haven't even listened to this yet. This is like the bonus CD with like live stuff. And they had another band called Warsaw, which is like pre-Shotgun. I haven't actually listened to this yet. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this double LP from Shotgun, mid-90s Japanese hardcore.
Man,
Great stuff.
chock full.
I remember, didn't Rob Burnett, didn't he put out a 7-inch by them? You know Rob, Brian?
Yeah.
Did he?
I'm not sure.
I
If
think
he did, I'm not aware of it.
Yeah.
They put out like 3 7-inches. I think a couple of them were in Japan, and maybe you're right. I think one of them was released in the States, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Traditional Japanese hardcore, B grade, C grade band, but great stuff. I've been playing this one a lot. Yeah.
C grade. I'm gonna go C grade.
Really? Well, I think it kind of fluctuates between C and B and almost A on some of the stuff, I would say.
Are they
Perfectly
still,
okay with me.
I'm sorry, are they currently active?
It does say in the liner notes that they still play live, like every now and again. So
Cool.
there you go. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. That's my first pick of the day. Some old school Japanese hardcore.
Well, I'm going to go with your short, sharp shock because I don't have a lot of new stuff in my picks this time around, but this one always a pleaser. Always. I always feel like I got hit over the head again every time I hear it, and that's pleasing.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
This is a bomb. This record rules. And you can get this. You can still get it. Came out 2003. I'll try to pronounce it. I always say ÄÄRITILA, but
Sounds about right.
my Finnish is terrible. But Jesus, this never disappoints. I mean, they had a 7-inch that came out before this, and a follow-up LP. But this is the pinnacle right here. It's Laze from Ristia. It's a all-star lineup, but God, this has everything you wanted from like classic Scandinavian hardcore from the 80s, but done, now this is 20 years old. Can't believe that.
Yeah.
But just top notch. I'm surprised I don't want to say it doesn't get respect, but a lot of people don't talk about it that much. I know in my band, this is always a go-to. If we're hanging out having beers, we'll throw this on. And but you can't really go wrong with members of Ristia and Meanwhile and Totalitar, like hanging out and just doing what they do the best. And I love this record.
Playing fast.
This is a great record.
How different is that one to the second LP?
How different?
Is it similar? Because I've only ever heard the second one.
It's similar, but I think there's more. I want to say it's more punchier. It's more. Yeah. This one is more. The second one's on attack, but geez, it's punchier, and it also has those like laid back like Finnish hardcore, classic Finnish hardcore laid back like a Kohu 63 kind of. When they slow down a little bit, and then come back, and jump back right up in your face.
I just say that because every time I post a second LP, everyone's like, "Oh, no, that's not the one you want. The one you want is that one."
Yes, that's what I said. It's the middle child, and it's that is a raucous record.
Nice. All right. Devon says that Nate's blocking him. I don't think it's possible, but there you go. All right, Brian, what's your first pick of them?
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Just back on tour. So these guys 28 nights in a row with a few breaks. But yeah, I know they have been mentioned on the show before. So yeah, they gave me all three of the records that they had just because they were, we were hanging out every day, having a lot of fun on that tour with those guys. Real fun dudes, and had some serious talks too with Vlad, like the main guy, Vladimir Siberian. He's in the live lineup that we were playing with. He was actually the only one from that LP. The rest of them were all scab lineup, but you would never know it. They were like so tight every night. But yeah, these guys are, I mean, modern thrash metal crossover. Just real tight, faster and tighter than anything that was kind of happening in the 80s in that first wave of thrash. Just a good distillation of classic thrash and crossover, tropes or whatever. But it's so well done.
Like Foreseen or something, or no?
Yeah. I mean, kind of like that. Foreseen are a little more intense.
Okay.
I mean, if I was gonna, Siberian Meat Grinder are somewhere between Municipal Waste and Foreseen as far as like intensity goes, I would say. They have a little more Siberian, not on this one so much, but the other one's a little hip hop, kind of like New York kind of vibe to a little bit of it. Vladimir, again, he did like graffiti stuff a lot of the places we did with the bear, like in like a cartoon form, and sometimes like doing kind of anti-capitalist stuff or anti-fascist stuff, sometimes just kind of like little goofy cutesy graphics with the bear or whatever. So yeah, those guys are great, and they're great on record too.
I love that record. I showed it like a few months ago.
Yeah.
But like, doesn't Vlad have like a rap thing too, like the Moscow Death Brigade? Is he in that thing?
Is that
too?
rap? He did have the stickers for it, like on their merch table that he ran out of eventually. But I didn't know what it was. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know if it was like his hardcore band or whatever. But
Brian, can you hold up the record one more time? People like to kind of have a look at the cover a bit. Sure. Yes. So, Siberian Meat Grinder, Join the Bear Cult. I think that's on. Isn't that on like the same label what label is that on? I remember talking about
this one is on Broken Silence and Destiny.
See, Destiny is the old German hardcore label that was done by David from like Squandered Message. They put out like the MDC live record and stuff like back in the day.
Oh, really?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Did they do? Was it that Dead Kennedys one too, or is that am I thinking of another one?
Maybe it could be. Let us know in the comments. But that's done by this guy David. That's an old school 80s hardcore label, Destiny. So yeah. Fun band.
Yeah. Good and fun.
Great band. All right, Nate, what's your first pick of the day, my friend?
Oh yeah.
Right, we're seeing it.
I've been blasting this. I feel like for like 3 weeks. It's all. I mean, to me, seriously, I know it's blasphemy, but these guys are like my favorite Swedish hardcore band ever. Started off in '82, died in '92, put out a shit ton of 7-inches. There's like 36 tracks or something like that on this thing. And it's just, what I love about it is the melodies and stuff of like having like acoustic intros and shit like that are sort of a little bit, you can tell they wanted to be a little bit metal or something, but they maybe couldn't at that time. They were able to do it with Counterblast, the band they did after them, But yeah, man, I fucking love this shit. This is like that song "Toilets" is one of my favorite fucking songs ever. I just love it. And I remember when I first met Perth. Is it Perth? Perth. There you go. From Sweden.
Oh no!
Just we'll get into the good bit. He was talking
Oh.
about, oh,
Yeah, it was like it was
cliffhanger.
all
He's
coming
teasing us.
together. Oh,
The-
neat. Hey!
Hey, the cliffhanger. You left on the cliffhanger.
Did you guys lose me?
We
Yeah.
lost you, yeah. That's okay. You just mentioned how you met Per or Per.
Yeah. There we
Um,
are. Yeah, so I met Per, and he basically was, you know, I was so stoked because he was, you know, he was in Filthy Christians and did that split with G-anx. I was stoked.
Yeah.
And I let him know.
Is that like a collection, like a discography thing?
Yeah, it was, you know, originally Sound Pollution did a CD called Flashbacks.
Yeah.
And it put everything together. This is on a German label. You're gonna make me break out my glasses, but it's a German label called Threat from the Past,
Right.
and it came out in 2015.
Okay.
I think I got my copy from Havoc.
Oh, our
Wow.
good friend Felix.
Yep.
Nice. Double LP, right? Must be a double.
Yeah, it's a double LP.
All right.
Hmm.
Man, I haven't listened to that band for quite a while, but I did pick up the Filthy Christians LP recently.
So great, that one too, man.
Yeah.
Early ear-raid shit,
Yeah.
like really.
And
early.
Ben reissued the G-anx Filthy Christians split 7-inch like last year sometime.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Me neither. All right.
That's my first pick.
Nice. Some classics in the first
A good
round.
one.
Yeah. All right. My turn. Jim, you remember the first episode? We talked about that compilation LP. Cast your mind back all those months. Heroes of the Night, that compilation. Remember that one? With all the female-fronted bands.
Oh, yes.
That was kind of a big hit at that time. Like, loads of people went out and bought it, and it's going to be
It's wonderful. I love that motorcycle song.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it's like all rare, and like, you know, UK female-fronted, like punk and new wave, right, from the 70s and maybe early 80s. Great comp. A lot of people went out and bought it. I've got like a similar thing, and I don't know how well known this one is yet, but I've been listening to this one like a ton. It's the Knuckle Girls. Knuckle Girls compilation, subtitled 14 Botherbird Blitzers from the Sequin Sisters, tough enough to rumble with any mister. This is great.
Those comps are great. I don't have any of those yet. I have the Boover,
The Bother, that one, Bother
Party or something.
Party, yeah. But this is like all like female fronted stuff from the 70s. They call this stuff like junk shop glam, so it's all kind of like Susie Quattro-ish kind of stuff that was mostly released on like 45s only. Great stuff. It's like just great like beer drinking music. Got like 14 tracks on it. Picked out a few favorites to recommend. It's the Kuni is the first. I Can See the Changes. It's Dutch. She only put out like 145. I looked it up.
Oh.
Goes for a bit of money. That's a
So
real
it's
like,
not
heavy
all British bands.
No, it's like mostly British, but it has like one Dutch, a couple of US and French band on here too. But it's mostly UK. But so that's Kuni is really good, and then the American one is Desira and her song Gorilla, which is a real like heavy like glam stomper, and that was like a split single with this other band called Angel Demonic originally. I mean, I'd never heard of any of this stuff before I got this. So that's another good one. And then Vicky Fury from France with her song. That's another great one. And my favorite song on this record is by a British woman called Aishia, who put out a bunch of records and on Harvest Records actually. Like I was listening to this song here, and I think she was like a TV presenter. I remember like seeing her on TV in the 70s and 80s. Like But I was listening to like her song. I was like, man, this is like a real like heavy glam song, but it has those like really like Roy Wood, like early like the Move, and really really early ELO, like heavy, like cellos and stuff on the top of it. And what do you know? He wrote this song. So
I think there's 3 volumes of that already.
Hey, yes, I was going to say, if you haven't had enough of, if you need more, we've got volume 2. We've got volume 2.
It almost reminds me of those old K-Tal commercials.
Yeah, this one's called.
Mike, do you know what those are? K-Tal.
I do. Yeah. This one's called 14 Pugilistic Platters from the Only Glitter Girls That Matter. This is just as good as volume 1, but it's so weird.
Double LP or
no? They're all single LPs, yeah. And then, but the funny thing is, this is the funny thing. This doesn't happen too often, but we got like volume 3, volume 3 as well. Like this one's 14 territorial turf war tunes from the Tomboy Goons in Split Knee Loons. Volume.
Wow.
But it's like the last song on the 3rd volume is the best song on like the entire series, and it's French. It's by this woman called Jessie Joyce. Welcome to My Dream. Man, she sounds like the singer of Acid, that Belgian band. It's got this amazing voice. And I sent it to Luke from Bombardment. I thought he might have heard of it, but he'd never heard of it, and he kind of looked it up straight away, thinking it'll be like a €1 bin 45, but it's not.
Right.
It's a bit of a bonza. But yeah, it's funny that you kind of have to go all the way to the end of volume 3 to get the best song. But great stuff. Glam rock from the 70s, all female vocalists. Great series.
Tough girls.
That's cool.
Yeah, I recommend this to anyone if you're into like.
I've been looking at those. I didn't pull the trigger on them, but now maybe I will.
They're definitely bootlegs. They've got like a fake London address on the back of the sleeve. They're on Angry Young Woman Records. There you go.
Can you actually buy them on Discogs, or have they been?
Yes, I was going to say that. Nick. Good question. They are bootlegs, but they are on Discogs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Good stuff.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
I always learn something from Mike.
This was a demo in 2013 from Spain, but somebody pressed it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this.
Oh, no.
Disco Infermos. They were from Barcelona, and I hope they're still around. But somebody pressed the demo, and this is a really good demo, and it came out in nice silkscreen cover.
Nice.
It came out in 2013, but I think the press came out in 21. But it has this feel of like late 80s, early 90s European hardcore. Like sometimes the vocals remind me of like So Much Hate, or like even BGK. There's moments where I can hear that kind of thing going on, but then they'll, it's good high energy, it's moving, and there's even a song on there that reminds me, they're Spanish. I thought it was an RIP cover, but it's not. It's theirs, and but it's just good Euro hardcore, like excellent hardcore from Barcelona.
So kind of American sounding a little bit?
No, not at all.
Probably Norwegian and Dutch, right?
Yeah, but then it sounds like a Spanish band from the 80s too, It's
wow.
like, so I remember when I bought this, I took a gamble on it, and it paid off. I was like, wow, what a great record. And I can't believe it came out in 2013 as a demo, but good enough for somebody to say, let's press that on vinyl several years later. But excellent. I think it's very, very good. Very excellent. I don't know much about the band. My Spanish is here or there, but the track that sounded like RIP was called Vieja Gloria. Alerta from Barcelona. And you can find this. You can still find this.
the label, that's a good label. They put out a lot of
Disco Infermos, really good label.
All the Spanish stuff. Oh, there we go. My average, how you doing? Says they're actually from Latvia. Latvia, and Madagascar. Thanks for that, Matt. Yeah.
Really?
No.
That blows me away.
Wow.
Nothing on this would indicate that at all.
Wow.
Thank you.
Matt had another question, but I'm not sure. It's like about the one I showed. Is it related to the Bonehead Cruncher series?
Probably similar. The Knuckle Girls thing.
Yeah. It's I guess it's a similar kind of thing. Different label though, I guess. But yeah.
Different fake label.
Yes, different fake label. Yeah. All right, Brian. What's your second record of the thing?
All right. Well. Oh, geez, I have it upside down.
Oh.
And backwards. Oh boy, this is not going well at all.
Nice.
And this, can I get this far enough back?
There you go.
Yeah, yep. Rocky and the Sweden Boris split 12 inches.
Wow.
This is on Relapse, so it's actually easy to get, which I didn't realize when I ordered it from Europe. So I paid like $6 extra for it.
Is this recent? Is this recent?
End of last year.
Yeah, it's like recent.
Wow.
Free vinyl.
I didn't know.
But yeah, Boris do kind of their hardcore thing, which they don't do on a lot of records, but like I'm just wondering how this even came to be. This record.
Relapse definitely probably the Boris connection, I'd assume, right?
Well, I don't know if like the people from Boris just came at him with like, we want to release this. Like, I don't know. Who knows? I certainly don't. But yeah, I mean the Rocky and the Sweden stuff, really well recorded, just straight together, like driving hardcore. A little bit anthemic here and there.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. The Boris stuff, they kind of play like straight hardcore, and then they'll go into like a sludgy doomy part and then back. And like one song's kind of like experimental, kind of like washy, kind of heavy psychedelic. And yeah, and it goes back to the hardcore thing again. I mean, it's a 12-inch 45, so it isn't super long. So, yeah, I don't know. It's I think both bands really deliver the goods on there for what they're doing. It's a little short little blast. They really, delivered the goods, as they say, on both sides. They're well recorded, heavy. No all killer, no filler, as we used to say back in the day.
It's a good record. I think the Rocky and Sweden tracks on that are better than the most recent like LP that they put out.
Really? Yeah, I don't have that one, but yeah, they're very good songs. And if you could tell, it was like kind of a metallic cover, green metallic cover.
Yes, yeah.
The cover is like really elaborate and cool looking, and not something you see too much on like straight hardcore punk records, I suppose. So thanks to Relapse and or Boris for stepping up the packaging game a little bit or whatever. So
I think Relapse are really getting their fingers into the Japanese hardcore bit, after the Gizm and then the SHI and
Yeah, the Zoe.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool. Thanks.
I know they wanted to get into that realm for like a while, back in the old days, but I mean, I don't even know who owns the company anymore, if it's anybody from way back then. So it might be a different wave of people who are now interested in like doing Japanese hardcore over there.
I've heard different things, that it was sold to a major like years and years ago. But remember that Relapse used to do like MCR USA, right? Like back in the old days.
I don't remember that, but you mentioned it.
That would have been Sound Pollution.
No, they did it before Sound Pollution.
Before Sound Pollution, somebody
did it
told
before
me.
Sound Pollution. Yeah, they were doing. It was funny because I was doing MCR UK and fucking Relapse Records from my squat bedroom, and then Relapse Records was doing like MCR USA at the same time. So, yeah. Pretty crazy. That's a great record. Like Boris do dabble in hardcore, like every now and again. They do it really well too.
Yeah, I have the Vein LP that came out.
Yeah.
2004, 2006, something like that. That like there were 2 editions, but you couldn't tell them apart until you bought them and played them or something. And like some of them were hardcore and some of them were drone, so they were like completely different records.
They're the one called No. That's another one of their like all hardcore.
Oh,
records.
really?
Bloodsucker put that one out. Yeah.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, originally, and then it got pressed in Europe by FOAD, and then finally, Third Man Records ended up doing the USA.
Oh,
the US
geez.
press. Yeah, so it went from like Bloodsucker to like Third Man.
Jack White. Yeah.
Jack White. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, got to put this back up. It was all just a joke. I guess it is April Fool's Day over here, so.
It's not April Fool's yet.
Like Latvia.
I believed him.
Yeah. I didn't know who they were, so I was like, huh, Spanish name, that's weird.
Latvian.
Jim was like, oh shit.
Didn't do my research, just making me look like a fool.
Educate me, you know. Well, that's interesting.
We took it very well. Really? I did not know that about that. Yeah. All right.
Should I go ahead?
Go ahead, Nate.
So the last.
Oh no!
Just as we're getting to the good bit.
Yeah, I know you. Nate, come back.
Time for a Pringles
Just as
break.
I started snacking.
Yeah, Pringles, Brian. Snack break.
Time to get the Pringles
yeah.
out. Oh, out.
Yeah,
Oh,
come on. We're pulling for you, Nate. Come on.
Oh,
Yay!
Yay! There
lost
Am I here?
There
Can you see me?
You are here.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can, sir. Certainly can.
So I've been blasting this all week, man. Raise Cain, bootleg. It's called bootleg. It's not a bootleg. It came out on Sound Pollution. It actually came out as a tape called Boot, I believe, in 92, I think. Or no, 96 maybe. Pretty late, actually. But man, this stuff is straight up, to me, straight up bad. Like, there's a lot of Bastard in this. If you like Bastard, man, $4 Japanese 7-inch. The reason I pulled this out was I sold a copy on Discogs, and right before I sent it, I decided to play it, and I was like, oh my God. And then I pulled out my copy and just haven't been able to stop it. And then I was talking to a buddy, and the buddy was trying to tell me that this record was better. Their first 7-inch, which is from
Many Shots and Panic.
Yeah. From 89. And unfortunately, I have the what is it, Amok version?
German
pressing,
Yeah, I'd love to have the version that the band put out themselves.
Oh, there was like wasn't there another pressing of that on another German label before that?
No, I think it was Amok, but I think it was just a different, maybe a different color vinyl or so. I think there's black, and there might be, and this one's.
I think mine's like green or something.
Mine's blue.
I think
there's.
Well, maybe blue.
I think Amok did at least 2 or 3 versions of it.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, man. To be honest, these 2 records don't sound the same, and I'm sorry to cheat and put 2 records.
That's cool. Yeah.
But they don't sound. This one, the one called Bootleg, is so much better in my opinion. It was recorded at our house, which
legendary studio. Yeah.
In my opinion, greatest Japanese studio ever. You know, everything's just and it just straight up reminds me of Bastard, man. The vocals, the sound of it. The first 7-inch, The Return to Many Shocks, is, I feel like it's more traditional. It's more like what Brian would, what I feel like Brian was really into, where it's like there's some real strange parts to it. Like there's a song where there's like a lot of like it sounds like they bring in 20 of their friends and they're just like shouting over the music.
The gang choruses, right?
Yeah, not even gang choruses. They're just like shouting. They're just like they're having a party. It's weird. But it's a great. But they're both great 7-inches. And yeah, man. Raise Cain, Sound Pollution, fucking. You seriously, Discogs. This is a steal for $3 or $4, man. I
mean, don't forget they were on the Eye of the Thrash Gorilla compilation LP too, with like S.I.B and Tetsuare and S.I.B. Wow. Yeah, so they have songs. They have songs and a bunch of other compilations too.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, but Devon asks Brian a question.
How would I know? Because their stuff was pressed in the West. It wasn't as desirable, right?
You know, honestly, Devin, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say probably because of the fact that
I kind of know
how much time came between the two records. I mean, these guys didn't really put out shit. This came out in '89, and then this one came out, I think, in '96. I mean, that's a long time for like between 2 7-inches, you know, and that's really all they have out besides some tapes that are impossible.
And they were on like the Yokosuka. No, they weren't, but they were on a bunch of compilation tapes. So as far as I remember, they are not a Tokyo band. Like they're from Yokohama, I think, or between.
They might have been on one of those city hardcore flexies.
They were. I want to say Yokosuka hardcore, but I'm pulling out of the air a little bit.
Yeah.
And they never did a full length on Selfish Records, and they were not really. They were. They were kind of considered like a B grade band compared to like Death Side and all those bands, you know.
Sure.
But they used to play with all those bands. If you look at old flyers, they used to play with all those bands like back in the 80s, you know. So. And still active today. How about that?
Are they really?
They play shows like every now and again. Yeah.
So like what? So nothing since '96.
Japanese style, man. Playing live, you know. Playing live is often more important.
I mean, has there been any obscure like CD that's come out in the last 20 years? Because I saw Sicilian Blood had like a CD that came out a few years ago. I was like, how did I miss this? Like,
yeah.
I think if Raise Cain had something, I would like a full length or a CD or something. I would have heard about it. But
actually,
I think that's it. I think that's it, man.
Yeah, a lot of compilation tracks though and tapes too. But
a lot of tapes from what I recall.
A good candidate for a FOAD reissue.
Whoa.
Box set or whatever I would say.
The box set.
Box set, the Raise Cain box set.
I don't think you could get them in a box. I think you probably maybe get half of an LP.
Yeah, all those
you
live
never know with these bands. Sometimes they'll do a demo and they just don't release it.
Yes,
right. Yeah. That's like the FOAD like specialty. It's like unreleased demo, like when with their 2 tracks off of like a comp. And then 7 live shows.
Yeah, that's what they do. Good band. But you're right, they're a little bit forgotten, maybe a little bit compared to like the bigger bands. But still great band.
And listen, for anybody out there that loves that style, like I said, you can still find this one for, I just sold it for $4 on fucking Discogs. So
a bargain.
Definitely.
You'll probably sell a few more if you have any in your distro.
I don't. I'm keeping this one.
Okay. All right. It's my turn. Nice. A little bit of a Boris connection with this choice and a FOAD release as well.
All right.
I'm not being sponsored.
Get some free records out of
this. Got this recently. It's been out a while. It was. Let me just show it. It's this thing. What a band name. Erieza Royal and the Summery Lynch. There we go. Brian's got it too.
No! I got to pull this out of my pile now.
Wow. How uncanny. Is it new?
It's newish, yeah.
Late last year, right?
Yeah. But like we were just talking about, exactly. So this is like tracks by this band that were only side A was only on Bandcamp at first, right? and then side B was just a tour CD originally, and then FOAD steps in, puts it out on a full length. But man, this is a good record. It's the Boris connection is Atsuo from Boris mixed it and produced it. So,
right.
And also their artwork department did some of the artwork on like this. I've got to show it actually. Actually, this one. This was like done by the Boris artwork department. This was just a CDR for a tour. And it's got like the Celluloid Records logo on there. I'm pretty sure this did not come out on Celluloid Records in France. I'm pretty sure it did not, you know. And then this, which is like the Captain Sensible
totally
thing, right? They kind of
the crass 7-inch.
That's right, yeah. Interesting band, because Erieza is more known for like, it's kind of garagey, very basic kind of garagey punk on the B side, but the A side is like more like ripping hardcore, especially the title track.
Wow.
It's like almost straight out of like the women's liberation, like the Gaia, but a little bit more garagey sounding. But Brian, what are your thoughts on this record?
I would have mentioned like the first Nurse Flexi
too,
as a point of like a little bit inept.
Yes.
Like fuzzed out, like hardcore, not like super speed hardcore kind of stuff. Kind of like 81 hardcore or something like that.
It's not
like
heavy, right? It's more like trebly and inept, but
yeah.
Really, there's actually a video of the first song, The Unconquered. There's like a promo video. Go and watch that. It's really, really good. So yeah, you know, it's just like they have songs like "Spit on the Patriarchy," which you would not have got, you know, in the 80s from a
true,
right? Women's Independence Day, and then at the end they do a cover of Cherry Bomb, which is a little bit of a throwaway, but good, interesting record. Erieza Royal and the Summary Lynch. There you go.
All right, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah,
you should.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I've been listening to older stuff this past week, and this is always one I go back to, and I think it's really interesting. It seems like the most. It's kind of like an offshoot of classic Boston hardcore, but this record kills, man. I love this record.
I've listened to that LP twice recently.
Really?
Yeah, it stands up.
And like the 2011 LP too, like recently.
I haven't heard that one. I'm glaring, but
yep.
But you know, I first heard this in the 80s. They used to be the Groinoids. Some of them were the Groinoids.
There was some of them, yeah.
And but you know, it's like that whole down like Butthole Surfers stoner rock kind of.
I always thought it was like
hardcore for sure, but
I always thought it was like AMREP kind of in a way.
Before that,
kind of, yeah, or like Flipper or somewhere in that
Flipper.
Hardcore, but not fast.
Yeah, not fast, but it kills. And there's a lot of demonic stuff. You know, it's like, you know, they're from Boston, so you know they got this whole Boston area. They got this whole Salem devil thing going on, but man, there are some great songs on here. I really like, you know, Demon Blue has a groove in Red Devil, and then it's kind of weird, but it's still. I love this record, and I hadn't heard it in a while, and I was like, it's 2023. I think I'll throw on a KILSLUG. But it kills. It still holds up. You know, I like it better than Melvin's. You know?
Yeah.
Like, have you heard the Upside Down Cross LP?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a continuation of KILSLUG in a way when they weren't doing stuff.
And wasn't there like a Dinosaur Jr. Connection in there too?
Jay Mascis played drums on it, but like Seth Putnam was also involved. And another Seth Putnam band, Adolf Satan, was kind of like a KILSLUG kind of influenced band. And the stuff's great, but it's like if you read the lyrics, you're like, you know, kind of sketchy.
Yeah, but at the same
time,
for
that kind of music,
there's some good grooves in there, though. There's some really good. Like
I saw KILSLUG
over and over again.
Yeah, I saw KILSLUG like a few times before Larry died, like in 2010, 2011, something like that. And they were great. They were great every time.
I wish I saw that. I remember when that happened too. Opie was trying to get me to go to that. But no, but from the 80s, I remember it was like a break in the action in hardcore in the 80s. It was like, wow, what's this one? And it's like, you know, if you're sitting around smoking a fatty,
yeah,
it was a good pot smoking hardcore record.
yeah, definitely a big druggy vibe on it.
Yeah,
Drugs with Guns is another one that kind of falls in the cracks of like hardcore noise rock.
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't like that stuff at all back then. I think I'd appreciate it now.
Check it out, man. Revisit it.
You're still alive, Nate. You can still get into it.
There's still time. Actually, I'm a little bit similar. I have to say that it kind of confused me a little bit when I first heard it, but
I think it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Listen, I think probably
definitely a confrontation element with all those like slow hardcore bands. Is this confrontation against the orthodox like speed kind of thing? Like No Trend too from DC.
Oh, yeah.
There were another one that were kind of like
noisy.
You're all clones and we're different kind of thing was part of their like thing.
Yeah.
Against the grain.
Yeah. Which I respect.
I think you'd like it now, Nate, for sure. It's like
upstream.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll check it out.
Now that you've been in multiple metal bands and have opened up your mind.
Head on.
It is funny though. I think all of us were probably so entrenched in hardcore at that time that at least for me, if it wasn't fast and then I was like, fuck this, you know what I mean? But I've completely changed. But I was, I was an elitist dickhead, you know?
I actually wasn't. I mean, I like that slow, sludgy stuff whenever I heard it. It was just different and abrasive. But yeah, I can definitely see how if you were just fully into something.
I think I used to call it heroin music. Like, this is what it sounds
like. Oh, yeah.
Makes sense. The pain.
Why does it hurt to be alive?
That's like late 80s, right? Late 80s.
86 is that LP.
86.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone off to listen to the KILSLUG record.
Oh, there he goes. Never to be heard from again.
You're off looking for the KILSLUG record in the.
He's looking for the 3 7-inches now. All right, if we're going back, Jim has set the tone here.
Okay, cool.
We're going way back. Dude, and if you look closely here, can you see this? There's oh god. I bought this for $1 because the cover was a little messed up. And it's covering up a $1.99 clearance sticker from like the 80s or the 70s or something like that. I don't even know what pressing this is. But yeah, on tour, I just had I put a bunch of stuff on my phone to listen to while I was sitting in my coffin bunk. And this is one I just kept coming back to because I would say 6 out of 8 of the songs on here are like stone cold classics.
Right.
And the other 2 aren't bad. I think it starts really strong on side A. The first 3 songs are like super killers. Yeah, let me refresh you. Career of Evil, Subhuman, Dominance, and Submission. And then finishing out side 2, Harvester of Eyes, Flaming Telepaths, and Astronomy. Flaming Telepaths hits me so fucking hard every time. That song is so fucking good. I mean, all of it's great, but except for, the 2 songs that are only really good.
Black and white period.
Yeah, the black and white period, exactly. The end of the black and white period.
What year is that, Brian?
74, right? I think.
Yeah, it must be. Yes. Is that the last of the black and white period? Is that the third LP or the second?
Yeah.
All right.
First one is the self-titled Tyranny
and
Mutation, and then Secret
and then-
Treaties.
All right. Yeah,
That's the second
I've
one.
actually been listening to this one. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all great. I actually had like the first. I think no, I had the second and the third one on my phone, but this one, Secret Treaties, just was hitting me really hard on tour, laying in my bunk in the dark, like being shaken around while driving around Europe.
Great, like comfort music. You can play at any time, and it always sounds great.
Did any of you guys get to see them back in the day? Because I
saw them Black and Blue.
Oh,
wow.
shit!
Yeah. At New Haven Coliseum, and I also saw into the '80s. I saw what's the one with the guy with the card? He's holding the cards.
Agents of Fortune.
I saw that tour.
Wow,
that's probably
they're from this area, though. So they play even these days.
They're from Long Island. That's right.
Yeah, they play in Connecticut all the time. Sometimes for free, or you go to the casino and they're.
I never saw him at the casino. I saw Joan Jett at the casino a few times.
Yeah, I've seen Joan Jett been around here for free forever.
Oh, but, yeah. I saw her 4 times at the casinos.
Yeah. It was just like, let's go.
Yes.
I saw him in Binghamton, New York. It had to be like 81 or 82. And I just remember the drummer did a drum solo and he like went backwards like this. And somebody put a mask on him and he came back up and he had the Godzilla mask on him. And he's fucking, it was awesome.
Wow.
It was so awesome.
It was Zippy the Pinhead putting it on.
Man.
With the drums all flanged out.
What's that?
With the drums all flanged out, because I've definitely heard like live things where he's doing like fills.
Honestly, I can't remember.
I can't remember that.
That'd be a good cover up for like wearing a mask is, having them all flanged out. So even if you fuck up a little, it just sounds like just like flying all around the place.
Well, I saw Blue Oyster Cult in the early '80s, and they had a Godzilla. This is after the mask, maybe. They had a Godzilla because the drum. There would be a drum intro, boom, 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 and you'd see the red eyes coming out of the darkness. And for them to have that, like Kiss had all kinds of big stuff, and that's when the props were getting bigger and. But I remember they had a bigger Godzilla.
Not to kind of make this into the... Sorry, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I recently saw them in North Jersey, probably 5 or 6 years ago, and they were terrible. The people that had it was like at an old like theater, like a red carpet theater and stuff, and the sound people kept turning them down and turning them down and turning them down and turning them down. To the point where it wasn't even enjoyable, and then they had these like they had these scabs in the band, like the bass player especially was like this dude that was like probably 24 years old, and he was, it sucked. I was
one of their kids.
Yeah, one of their kids, probably Buck Dorama's son, grandson.
I was going to say this has also been a favorite.
Oh, nice.
It was in the pile of stuff I've been listening to. There you go.
No, we know that's one of your big faves.
Yeah, I love this one. A lot of people don't like this one, but I'm a huge fan of this record.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right, Nate, your time.
So this one. So.
Ooh.
This one's going back a little bit, 1986.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
I love
this. Is like that time somebody pulled out the Russian meat squats.
It's very similar.
I love this record, man. 1986, Golden Star Records. It's a really short record. This is like a year after I moved out to the Bay Area. This came out. I moved out in 85. And yeah, man, saw these guys a couple times. They didn't play a shit ton that I can remember, but I did see them at least twice. And any of you guys familiar with what Kwik Way actually was, or no?
No,
because
I remember.
It was like a fast food, like a real small fast food chain in Oakland. that was like disgusting. Like everybody, all the punks would go there and after shows and eat bad burgers and stuff like that. And supposedly there were fried rats and shit like that in the food. But the thing is about this, this is a comfort record for me. It's got one of my favorite. It's got one of my favorite. Instrumentals. That besides, like one of my favorite instrumentals ever is like the Scorpions. What is it? Coast to Coast. But man, this one is just so. It almost sounds like circus music. I can't. The instrumental does. I know that sounds weird, but it's like really fucking cool. And these guys are. It's such a punk record. There's no like crossover. There's no fucking metal. And you know me, I love metal, but this is just like it's pure. Like it's so. It really sounds like like it's the songs are catchy as shit, but they're played really terribly. It's great. It's super great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's been some reissues or something like that I don't know anything about. Like I feel like somebody, like maybe there was some stuff that was lost that was found or something like that, and maybe something came out. I haven't found any of that, but.
The soda tasted like cigarettes.
But yeah, man,
I've never owned that record, to be honest with you.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It was a $5 record for like ever. I know that much.
I mean, you could probably still get. I bet it's still like a $20 record at this point or something. Listen, if anybody has an insert, I don't know if this comes with an insert. I need an insert.
Nice.
Chris Cooch or Andrew Orlando.
The name reminds me of anyone that remember that Japanese band TJ Maxx.
Mm-hmm.
Who you know
what? TJ Maxx is like
chain store. It's a clothing store here.
Yeah, so probably sort of the same. Like Kwik Way, it was like I always thought forever that Kwik Way was a. When I first moved out there, I thought it was like a 7-Eleven sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
But no, it was a fast food joint that had a couple stores, and
wow.
I think they closed down like in the early 90s, maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, man. It's a fucking snotty record.
It's TK Maxx in Europe, which was strange.
Wow. TK Maxx.
Yeah, we went to the mall because people needed to buy socks and underwear because it was hard to actually find laundry facilities. And we went to the mall and yeah, there was a TK Maxx. And we were like, but it's the same logo. It just has a K instead of a J in it.
Wow. There's a good band name for anyone.
Underwear there.
Yeah. I think Ben got some.
Black, of course, right?
Yes, of course.
Nice.
Black boxer briefs for sure.
But listen, this stuff. So it sounds more LA snotty than it does Bay Area. I don't know. You know, got a little bit of circle jerks in it, but like played really sloppy.
Now this I did not know, and I actually always wondered where this name came from. But is it true, or is it another Matt Average April?
I remember that.
Yeah, another Matt Average joke. That was what's her name from the Melvins was in that. Played bass in it.
There was a point when there was a point where Clown Alley had it was 3 girls that played in the band, and then Dave, who was the singer, was the only dude. And it was like it was 3 girls, and then it slowly turned into all dudes. I saw those guys quite a bit at like the Farm and stuff like that in San Francisco.
That's a good record.
I love them.
Yeah.
That's true. It for me.
It's true. All right.
That's a weird name for a restaurant, I have to say.
It is.
Which one?
It is. It shouldn't be true. All right. My next choice is a record I literally got yesterday. I played it once, but I'm going to show it because nobody has talked about this record either on this show or any like on Facebook or actually in Japan they have a little bit. They're kind of quite well liked in Japan. like a lot of the old like Japanese hardcore bands were like had that real like heavy rock influence in there that kind of like stood them apart from like a lot of European bands or American bands. All the guys, like Led Zeppelin, and there's that real like heavy rock influence in old Japanese hardcore. Well, sometimes these guys do like heavy rock bands, like Jar Jar from Lip Cream had that like Waterbed band, which is like kind of hippie rock band.
Waterbed.
It's not. I think HG Fact might put that
Never
out.
heard that
I mean,
before.
nobody outside of Japan like cares about this stuff at all. I mean, maybe for good reason. But bear with me on this. And then there's like was it Slip Headbutt was another one, which is more like Stooges kind of stuff with the drummer from Death Side. So these guys love the hard rock, But so this band is called Bacara. Came out only on cassette tape last year, and they sold quite a lot, so it got pressed up on vinyl. Break the Records put this out. Break the Records is kind of like the modern day HG Fact. They put out all the stuff, these Tetsuare Forward, Death Side reissue, Slight Slappers they did. Jim, Skip Class, that band that you were talking about, that is on Break the Records too. This is like just a power trio playing like heavy rock in like the Japanese style.
What's the back of that record? What's the back of that record?
It's like see, I don't think Bacara is a Japanese word. It's a packet of cigarettes with the smoke kind of going.
Bacara cigarettes, is that a real brand?
I don't think so. It says since 2016, which I think that's when the band was formed. But
yeah, C doesn't really exist in Japanese.
No,
so
it doesn't. I kind of looked it up, and I just got
yeah.
that disco band from the 70s that had the same name, Bacara. So,
that's a record. I would just flip right through that one, past that one. I wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, I mean, they only pressed like 300 copies of this, and I bought this used already. But I think they're pretty well liked in Japan. They play on all the hardcore shows. But the drummer is the drummer of Gizm in this band. The most recent drummer of Gizm now, who's been.
I was going to say, who is that even? It's not Iron Fist anymore. Right?
No, it's the guy that's been doing it like since Iron Fist left. It's this guy called Now, like he's the drummer. But imagine these guys with like floppy Mohicans and beards and mustaches and like tie-dye sweatpants and sandals. That's what you're gonna get. It's just punks playing like heavy rock music. I like it. And if you're not sold on this, the last song is a folk ballad with didgeridoo. If you're not, if I haven't,
I'm going to Jim Martin this one.
If I haven't sold you on this record, that should seal the deal for you. Yeah, but Bacara from 2000. That's it. Devin got it. Well, yes, sir, I can boogie. That was by the original Bacara. There you go.
Oh, Devin.
Old Devin. He's making up for the Bluetooth headphones.
For the Bluetooth disaster.
All right, Jim, what's your next pick, man?
My next pick is an old band from Michigan.
Oh,
yeah.
Born Without a Face.
Is that the box set, but like just the LP?
It's just the LPs. I have the 7-inch. I bought it back in the 80s, Worship.
Yeah.
But I could never get the other one and the demo. But that's what's on here. And Jesus Christ, what a fucking band. This band rules. They got, it's like well, as I don't know if you can see it, but it's called Sound Recordings 84 to 86, 1984 to 1986. It has like when you listen to the earlier tracks, it has like this nardcore Dr. No vibe to it, which I really, really always loved. But then by the end of their time, they sound like COC, and you could tell they're from Grand Rapids, Michigan. But when this came out a few years ago, I was like, oh man, it's a double LP. What the hell's the name of the label? Sargent Cherry. But I think the band themselves, somebody from the band released it, and it has the early demos on it. It's pretty complete. You can still find this around, but it's pretty heavy duty too. I mean, you can't tell, but man, this is some heavy ass cardboard for a sleeve.
Yeah.
The sleeve and the pressings are quality too. They're really heavy. So I think if you had to mail this anywhere, it would have cost a fortune. But
that
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that when that originally came out, I remember it. It was in like a box, a custom-made box that was like sealed with like magnets.
Wow.
And yeah, it had like a bunch of shit in it, like the records and like some other shit, and it was like $85 fucking basically for a double LP. And everybody was like,
no way.
Like, what are they fucking thinking? Like releasing it, and then it didn't sell any for like 5 or 6 years. So then they started like trickling out just the LPs.
That's what I have.
Outside of the box set. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a weird move. Like, just we're gonna do this super, super deluxe thing of a band that had 2 7-inches that cost $10 to buy.
Yeah, you can still find them.
If you couldn't even find them, I had the 1 7-inch you had, and the other one I could never find. But yeah, it was just weird.
Pretty awesome, though. I mean, it sounds like, you know, before, like at the beginning of crossover, you know, and between hardcore and metal, but you know, there's like metal riffs, but it's not grandiose. And there you go. Somebody
like all of us, the unbecoming 7-inch is impossible to find. Yeah.
But man, what a band though. They sound. I always thought they sounded very, very good. But that last one though, it sounds like it was going next level, and then they just kind of stopped being a band. So
yeah. And but also I remember I was looking at an old Maximum Rock and Roll, and they were selling those demo tapes in there, and the demo tapes were $5 postpaid, which at the time that was a fucking fortune. Like everybody's demos were like $2 or free with the, you know, include a stamp. So I was starting to think, I was like, is this the start of where the $85 double LP came in? Is that like our demo's so good it's $5 fucking dollars? Like
it doesn't have that relative that says, "So you making any money at that? How's that?
I mean, I remember LPs were like $6 then. So $5 for your demo tape, that was like, are you crazy? And now probably somebody from the band is watching this going, "That fucking guy, who does he think he is?"
Yeah.
Oh, actually, he's got a closet full of them.
Yeah, right.
with like boxes of magnets next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice ornament now. But I mean, this is a great sounding record. It really is.
Yeah. I'm saying nothing about how the band sounds. Some of the pricing seemed off.
The sleeve is so heavy gauge, man. It's really crazy.
That's why it's all that sleeve that they had to fucking.
Yeah. That was an extra tree.
That's one I've not heard. I'm gonna have to definitely Jim Martin that one. Check it out.
There you go.
Yeah, nice. All right, Brian, what's your 4th pick of the day?
Let's figure it out. So, back to the FOAD bin here, I guess.
Oh,
this is in a bag. This was actually pressed on black vinyl a couple years ago, and it's just re-released on red. Hate Beyond, Japanese thrash, it says. But it's kind of death thrash, but it sticks like more on the thrash side. It's it's got kind of death metal vocals, but like really intense thrash metal, fast thrash metal behind it. It's surprise for me to have this many metal records, I guess, in my thing. But getting bumped by one of your LPs, Mike, I kind of lost it there. But yeah, it's. This is like, I only listened to it once, but it made an impression that it was like catchy, fast thrash metal with like brutal vocals. And I mean, it must be a reason why he like repressed it. Like he came out in 2021 and he repressed it on red vinyl like this month.
Wow. All right.
So there must have been some demand for it.
There was a lot of that stuff around in like the 90s in Japan, like that kind of thrash brutal thrash. There was a lot of it, but that was a new one for me. I'd never heard of them before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is fairly new. I thought this was a current band, actually. I'm
Oh.
not sure, isn't it? Maybe I'm wrong.
I
I
thought
don't
they
know.
were like
I'd have to do some more research.
yeah.
honest
But
with you.
yeah, it's one that I haven't checked out yet. But
Yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's I don't know what else to say about it except for its brutal death metal vocal thrash metal. Really on point, really fast, really well produced.
Blackened thrash, is that what it?
Not blackened. I'm intentionally saying death because it doesn't have kind of that like the blast beady element of blackened kind of stuff.
right, nice. They might be an Osaka band. Again, I could be wrong about that, but
I don't know.
let us know in the comments. To anyone.
Yeah, Matt Average, where are they from?
yes, they're actually not Japanese. They're from, like
Oh, they're from Latvia. They're from Latvia.
They were named after a sushi restaurant in Tokyo.
It's kind of not a very Japanese sounding name, actually. But question: is this band like Numbskull?
Numbskull from
There's
Cleveland?
There's the Numbskull I know is there's a metal Numbskull that was like a thrash metal band, and then there's the Numbskulls that was like actually wasn't it pre-Underdog or something?
Oh, what the
I don't
Numbskulls? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a generic name. I'm sure there's 100 bands named that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Right. Nice. Going on the list.
I got a Numbskull sticker on something around here somewhere.
Wow. All right, Nate.
My turn?
Yes, your turn.
All right. Here we go, man. This one.
Oh, what are we looking at?
You guys know. Exploding Corpse Action
Oh,
Discography.
shit. I don't have that yet.
Don't encourage him.
Yeah, I know. Listen, so first of all, listen.
Go ahead.
OBI or OB? I don't
Obi.
know. What is
Obi.
It means sash.
I'm still gonna.
Yes,
I'm still
originally
gonna call
on
it
kimonos and books, and then and then records.
I'm gonna call it an OBI forever. Anyway, man, this fucking record.
I hear Matt Average has one autographed by Sinistar. That's what I heard.
Well, Sinistar might be the only surviving member of this band. So this came out on Armageddon Records. It's an Albany band that started in like 1992 with a couple. It was three guys: Devin Cahill, James Copta, and this guy Tyson. Tyson and Devin used to work at this Ben and Jerry's on Lark Street in Albany, New York, and every time I would go in there, they'd just be blasting like Bolt Thrower and Carcass and shit like that. And man, this record is so there's so much Carcass worship to it. I just can't.
Wow.
It's so fucking great, man. Like early Carcass, it's fucking great. Unfortunately, Jim Copta died in 2002. And the drummer hasn't been seen and for like he didn't show up to the recordings, studio and shit like that. He just sort of disappeared. Devin's the only surviving member of this band in reality. But it's like a concept. It's a sci-fi concept record that Armageddon put out, and it's been like years in the making. It's awesome, man. The last few songs, the production's not great, but everything else is just like I said, man, straight up Carcass, like those dive bomb leads and shit, and the vocals are just over the top, just like I don't know if like you can remember the first time you ever heard Carcass.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It just fucking that shit blew my
Gurgling
mind.
toilet.
Totally, man. And this stuff, they really did a great job. Like that's what they were influenced by, that and like early Agathocles or
That's
however you
pretty high
pronounce the name.
praise. It's what you wish Carcass were doing after the first 2 albums. There you go.
Yeah. So fucking, it's awesome. I don't know if this is the actual, if this is a special cover, or if it's what the record looks like. I don't know, but came on gray vinyl. It's got a great insert. Came with some stickers, man. Fucking poster too. I didn't even see this.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Hold on.
Centerfold.
Oh shit!
You're gonna regret this.
It's a family.
Oh, it's not too big. All right, there you go.
It's this artist actually. His name, he goes on Instagram by Dahmer Art. He did the cover, and he definitely did this poster. I can tell that. But yeah, man, great record.
Exploding corpse action, right?
Corpse action, and it's total. It's like fucking really great death metal, man. Like seriously, if you like early Carcass, you're gonna love that. You're gonna just be like, holy shit!
Wow.
Nice.
Albany style.
There you go. All right, last round. Here we go. Italian hardcore. We have quite a bit of one in this show, but not so much like Italian like punk. But I've been really enjoying this record. Like I picked up a few weeks ago. It's a reissue on Radiation Records. Band is called S.I.B. S.I.B. actually stands for something.
Swelling, itching brain.
Yes, I knew you'd get it straight away. Yeah. Swelling, itching brain.
Good.
What are we talking about, Brian? Swelling, itching brain.
Devo.
It's the name of a Devo song. There you go.
Yes,
so, yeah, crazy. Like old Italian band that were kind of like in a kind of new wave band. Then they.
Wow.
This wasn't planned. But I knew Brian would get it like straight away when I said S.I.B. There you go. So, yeah. Italian punk, but made by like people who are in like new wave bands prior, so it still has like a little bit of a new wave feel to it. Female vocalist Tracy Crazy. They had a couple of songs on that comp, which is like considered one of the best compilations of all time, which is that Raw War compilation tape on Eccentric Noise, which had like Turvy Cadet, Rattus, Olo Secco, Indigesti, Neos. This is not like that. This is like new wave kind of punk kind of stuff with like some synthesizers in there. But really good stuff. Great record. There's one problem with this record, which I don't have time.
Too short.
Reggae. It has some reggae
or ska.
It's more like, but I like it. It's done really well. It's like kind of really catchy and like new wave-ish reggae, except the second. Like they put the second song, they put the longest and worst of the reggae tracks as like track 2, so it kind of kills the flow of the record a little bit. But I've been getting into this record quite a bit. Most of it is like kind of UK sounding punk rock of the like early 80s variety. Decent.
I've heard of the band. I didn't know that was even an album. It's something I would check out if I saw it.
I think
and I recognized what it was. It might be something I just flipped past because the logo's all the way on the bottom. It looks like on the front cover.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, but just
Jeff Jellin chimed in on the chat, and he says, "Great album." I think there's a Nabbit connection.
That's true. That's true. I was going to say that. Like, one of the members went on to be in Nabat, which is kind of like legendary, like Italian oi band.
Yeah.
Oi.
Yep.
Radio Bologna.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah. So this is a Radiation reissue, Italian label, I guess. But originally came out in 1981. Only 1,000 copies made back in the day. There you go. Italian punk from back in the day. That's my last choice, with like an oi connection to Nabat. There you go.
Cool.
All right, Jim, what's your last pick of the day?
My last pick, and Nate was alluding to this, like a band. You mentioned a band before that there was like no trace of metal or thrash or anything. It was Kwik Way you were mentioning, But I feel this way. It was when you said that, I was thinking this when I was listening to this record this week.
Classic,
right? And Japanese punk, but it's punk. It's punk. This is punk on top of punk. There's no thrash in there. There's nothing in there. There's no DB. But I have some of their they have a lot of releases.
They have a lot of 7-inch singles, very short 7-inch singles, 2-track 7-inch singles.
I have one that comes in. It's a CD that came in a 7-inch sleeve.
Right.
I have that. But holy crap, is this a really good record?
That's a classic, yeah.
And it, and I remember when it came out, and then I tracked it down on vinyl. Like first I had it on CD, but it's on HG Fact, which you guys were mentioning earlier before too. Like Jesus Christ, there's so many great things on HG Fact.
Everything, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything terrible on HG Fact, but
maybe that one. Maybe I shouldn't say that. There was that one Doom record, but it wasn't Doom.
Oh I remember that.
You remember that?
That's one of my favorite Japanese bands.
Is it?
But,
I feel like some good stuff. The Japanese Doom have some good stuff.
But wasn't that like electronic or something like that? That record?
No.
Oh, you're thinking of Death Master.
Death Master, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, Jim.
That's all right. I just want to say this is a quality release. Everything about this record is beautiful. It's even one of those sleeves, like old school sleeves, where it's actually pasted on there. Like you could see the panel on the
tip on.
Yeah, and the graphics of this are just beautiful, and but the 1-2 punches that it kicks ass. This record kicks.
It's like super catching, and the what do you call that? The sequencing of the songs is kind of perfect. It builds up steam as it kind of goes along.
Yeah, it's. I was listening to it this week, and I was like, man, I was like, wow, I forgot how good it is. It's like. Was so good.
Jim, let's double check the band and the name of the record just for people tuning in.
I want to say it correctly, but it's that North Korean missile.
Yeah, Taep'o-dong.
It's a North Korean missile. But order. I'm trying to chase the glare away there.
That's a very good
I don't have that.
But I mean, I'm trying to get in close. What a awesome punk record. This is really awesome.
It's snotty as hell.
It's tough too. It's really tough. And I'm not sure what they're singing about, but it's aggressive, but it doesn't go off into thrash or metal or anything like that. And it's one that always stuck out to me.
Let's not forget they have that split 7-inch with Warhead too, which is like kind of a great record. That's a top-notch record. It really is.
I don't have that.
I highly advise it.
It's kind of like it's like kind of it's a little bit hard to find these days. It's not super bonza, like a $50 record maybe, something like that.
Yeah, it came out 2003. I think.
Yeah, it's 20 years old now.
Yeah, wow. That's what happens when you're old punk rock.
That's definitely a Japanese classic, punk classic.
But I was listening to it at work today when I was doing something. I was like, man, it's kicking ass.
That's a good one. All right, Brian, what's your last pick of the day?
I have 2 left because I chose a couple extra here.
Show them both.
So this is Muzzle. This is the singer from Lacerate from Cleveland and members of Sockeye and like other fucking bands. This is just like a demo CDR. So this is more of a digital attack than an analog attack. But
Muzzle. Wow. There you go.
It's a good name, actually.
Lacerate's really good. I saw Lacerate.
So this is, I think this is kind of I think it was like 81. They put out like a tape or something like that, and it didn't come out till like now, and it's kind of punk, but a little bit like garagey experimental at the same time. Yeah, it's on the Mesh Key Records label, which did that not Feud, the Aunt Sally LP.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
There you go, Devin Cahill with the thumbs up on that one. Yeah, I just got it like recently, and I've only listened to it a couple times, but yeah, it's a real interesting listen. Yeah, it's kind of experimental punk, which you don't hear a super lot of. I mean, it was usually that, like, the people were either kind of really narrow in what they were interpreting punk as, or they just didn't have the chops to do anything with it. Yeah, it kind of works in some noise kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it like an early 80s Japanese band, right?
I think 81.
81.
I think so. Something like that. Yeah.
That's crazy early.
Yeah. Yeah, for Japan especially. It's took a while for their scene to take off. Yeah, I don't really have anything. I don't have any other information with this. This is like it. Like and the and you know, it's just a mirror image of the thing on the back. So it's a little bit of that mysterious element that sometimes a little bit experimental records have or whatever. It's
yeah. You mentioned that Aunt Sally record. That's a good one too. The Aunt Sally record.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's another interesting take on punk, and
yes,
definitely drawing like I don't want to bring up Patti Smith too much in that, but it's kind of coming from that same kind of artistic angle or something. But the Rabbits, there you go. And Devin appreciates it. So there you go. Why aren't you buying it right now?
I'll be checking it out for sure. I feel like I can probably find that over here.
Yeah, it's a U.S. press, but
really?
I'm sure like they sent a bunch of them over there. Right. I mean, what market would be more interested in something like that than Japan?
There you go. Yeah. All right, Nate, bring it on home.
This is probably something I can't imagine any of you guys are probably into. But I'm sticking.
We know what it is. Two of us know what it is.
We might know what it is.
All week.
Yeah.
Oh! I ordered that.
Oh no, we thought it was going to be Eat 'Em and Smile, but the cover was
going to be
very
Dave Lee Roth with Billy Sheehan.
You know what? I wanted to talk about that record, but there's no way I could fuck you guys up with that. Yeah, man, this is a fucking great record. I don't know if you guys have heard it yet, but
I checked it out.
What's that?
I've checked it out. I like it. It's like guys from Municipal Waste and stuff.
Yeah, it's Tony, right?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's Tony from Municipal Waste, and then it's the drummer from Cannibal Corpse.
Wow.
And the bass player from Reversal of Man. It's like they're from Florida. They're playing. It's like straight up hardcore. There's like I was like waiting for the drummer to do at least some fucking killer fills or something, but it was like almost just straight up hardcore. There's like one song in particular. What was it? Into the Sinkhole, and maybe the last song, Skyway. They totally had sort of an Infest vibe, but a slow, like not the Infest vibe that you would think of, but like the slow, like Sick Fucking O, or what is it? Fetch the Flyers. You know what I mean? Like, so, that kind of shit. But yeah, man, it's fun. And then the fast parts are just fucking fast as shit, and it's a great record. Like I said, it's only 6 songs. It's a one-sided 12-inch. The other side is an etching, which, is always a bummer. I'd rather have fucking another side of this band's music because it really is good. I'm looking forward to whatever they do next. Hopefully they stick around and do some other shit. But yeah, man, it's good.
It's been issued in Japan on CD, and I'm pretty sure it's on the same label break the records, put it out on CD.
Wow.
That
cool.
Bacara record that I think so. And the artwork was done by the person from Lotion, that band Lotion.
You know what?
Alex Hare.
Yes. Yes, and that's right.
Wow.
I was going to say this.
This is done by Alex.
Doesn't look like
yes.
Alex. Yeah.
And you know, I was going to say, you kept mentioning the hardcore edge to it. This is why it's. Here we go. It's Mike from the band.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
plays in that band.
I was going to say, yeah, that's weird. That doesn't look like Alex artwork at all. Actually, that blows my mind.
Branch it out.
Yeah, it's the whole
added some color.
There you go.
No, it doesn't look like his art at all, actually, I feel like. His stuff has, I don't know, it has a very, it's got a very, like you can spot it a mile away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and this one I didn't nail that for him at all.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it's a cool record, man. Tony's a cool dude. This is it's a great record.
Just saw today that Municipal Waste have this like limited edition beer cooler, which is a tie-in with Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Come on, those guys won't even drink Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Thought that was pretty fun. That's a good record.
Dave won't, anyways.
Yeah,
beer snobs.
I think they just started a tour tonight with Carcass, didn't they?
That's it. Carcass and 2 other bands who I'm forgetting who, but yeah.
And they just came off of Lamb. They just came off of
the Creator in Lamb of God.
Yeah, and Lamb of God. That must have been fucking humongous.
They were like following us around Europe. Everywhere we went, we would see that they were playing the same places we were, like a few days
3 days apart or something like that.
Yeah. It was like crazy.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Brian, we were talking about Bristol a little bit earlier when you guys were in Bristol, like literally about just before you guys went, like Municipal Waste were on tour with like Anthrax, I think. And they had a night off in Bristol, so someone managed to book them a gig in like a tiny like DIY club, which apparently that was pretty crazy. They hadn't played that size of venue for like a long time, you know. So,
well, maybe not over there. I mean, I know in the States they'll still play. Like we played at the church in like Burlington, Vermont, and stuff like that. That isn't a big venue.
All right, that's a good record. Nice.
Yeah. So.
I hear whistling. Who's whistling?
Hey, it's that time. So I'm an hour earlier than usual, right? So it's the garbage truck. For everyone that tunes in every week, the garbage man truck always comes at 12:30, and there he is. He's a couple of minutes late today. Must be a busy.
I was going to say I was pissing in
Somebody's
the bottle.
Whistling. I heard some like whistling.
I'm pissing in the bottle.
Yes, the machine, the machine, the truck makes some kind of like noise
melody
so
to let you know
coming, right?
he's coming. You'll be here if you haven't put your trash.
I'm here.
Yeah, quickly go down and put your trash out if you haven't.
Here we have the ice cream man. You know, whatever.
Dave Lee Roth, the ice cream man.
There you go. Got Tate. I got flavors to satisfy.
Nice. All right.
So we're done.
We're done. What went so quickly?
So here's a quick rundown of my tour finds. These were all like super cheap.
I love that record. Another good one.
Picture disc.
So these are all like UK scores from the tour, right?
Yeah, for like they were like £1 or £2. This was like £6.
Let's see.
This was like £2.
All right.
Yeah, that's great record.
That Tank, a bloody thing like £1 or something.
Yeah.
Oh my!
The Addicts, Gary Gilmore's Eyes.
Oh, nice one.
Gary Moore.
And a ton of Motorhead singles, I bet, over there. No, for nothing.
No, you don't really see those. There's a Sham 69. It's one of them. Kids Are United, something like that. Judas Priest United.
United.
Another Gary Moore.
Gary Moore.
This is a Rat Scabies. Let There Be Rats. Two quid. Or actually, it was a £1.66 if you bought 3 of them. Saxon,
nice.
Wheels of Steel.
Wheels of Steel.
A beautiful UFO.
Red vinyl, green vinyl.
Clear vinyl.
Too many records with no covers.
That crazy, weird art. This was £10, but I thought it was worth it because you would never find that in the States.
Yeah, like I told you, I've got the Japanese 12-inch of that.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
So that was some of the stuff I got in the UK, but that was all from one shop in Glasgow. It was just pandemonium in there. Nothing was in order. Like it was kind of, you'd be going through P's and all of a sudden there'd just be a section of R's in the middle of the P's, that kind of place. And everything was super cheap.
A digger's dream.
A digger's dream, absolutely. It was a place called Missing, if you're ever in Glasgow. So there you go.
Was it raining?
It was raining. It was cold. Yeah, it was completely fucking miserable.
I hate that place.
You wouldn't want it any other way, right?
It can't be any other way, I don't think. But, but it was a great gig, and it was a great bunch of scores. So there you go.
Did you end up having to send records back home, or did you just?
No. I didn't find that. We hardly had time to hit records. I mean, we're in that bus. So we can't even it's whatever's within walking distance. And my phone barely fucking worked over there. And we didn't have Wi-Fi a bunch of days. So it's like, I didn't even try to find records to buy. But this day, there was a thing just like one block over. And I walked in there and it was just like bin after bin full of 45s. And
nice.
Just like barely organized, super cheap, like 3 for £2, 3 for £5, that kind of pricing. So.
Nice.
Are any of the Napalm Death Dudes record scum or no?
No, not really. No. Not like at the level that I am, or Mike, or you, or Nate, who left. He's disgusted with us after he heard our record tasting story.
All right, let's wrap it up there. It's been a great show. Great time as always. I'm going to announce next week's show because I always forget to do this. Next week, Friday, April 7th, 10 o'clock. Eric Montanez from the White Stains, Loose Nukes, Direct Control, Government Warning.
Great.
Nice. Eric Good from Aus Rotten, Caustic Christ, and the Six. And Dusty Hanna from Pleasant Dreams Records, Pittsburgh, and the organizer of, I believe, Skullfest.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah.
A good festival.
Nice festival.
Skullfest.
Should be a good show. Let's bring Nate back on to say goodbye.
There he is.
There he is. All right.
See you guys.
Now we're going to hang out and have happy hour.
Sorry about my fucking bootleg internet.
Bootleg internet.
You're gonna hear about this, Wilson, after you were ragging on my Android.
I know.
Revenge.
Love you guys. See you later, man.
All right. Until next time.
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Thanks for having me.
And stay clean.